Nevertheless, then we moved on. What's good for the goose is good for the tit, I guess. Or it's tit for gander. Or whatever. They had the match with Bobby Lashley against Ricochet. So now two more of the guys in the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal for the national title. Did they even say, is this for a spot in the thing, or did they just have this single match, Shelton Benjamin against Hong Kong Phooey?
I guess it's just for a spot, because I think Lashley won the first spot, right?
Well, no, they've already got a spot.
No, but I'm saying like Lashley's the first
interview.
Lashley's the first one that will be entering the Casino Gauntlet match.
Yes, but was this Shelton and Phooey match? Was this for another spot, or did they just have a match because they're in the fucking Gauntlet match?
It's one of them will be in the match, the one who wins, and the one who doesn't won't be, I think, right?
I thought they were both already in the match.
Oh, are they? Then why'd they even do? I don't know.
Because Tony, all he does is have in his mind, all this shit makes perfect sense. Because we're neither having the chemical makeup of Tony's brain, or we're not on the cocktail of medications to control aforesaid. So we don't. And he's hit the wall. It's the same thing. It's multiple man matches. It's fucking, and you can. Since we listened to Tony's interview on Ariel Hilbani's show, he takes full credit for it. And with that in mind, I watched this show. I believe him. I think Tony's writing this thing top to bottom. And I think a lot of the guys are trying to do it. Some of the guys are trying to do it as palatably as they can and still consider themselves professionals. I.e. Bobby Lashley and here Shelton Benjamin. And I think a lot of the guys are just saying, fuck it, we'll just have fun anyway. And he's paying us so much. So I said that Lashley and Ricochet was visually ridiculous. This was the same size discrepancy because Hong Kong Phooey, old Spitball, is even smaller than Ricochet. Even though Shelton's a little smaller than Lashley. But Ricochet's work, at least when he's trying not to be silly, his shit looks good. This fucking small child looks like a kid playing karate. And again, maybe something that saved Shelton from as much embarrassment as this could have been to have to be in a ring with this guy for this long is that both of them are baby faces. So it's not like Shelton should just eat him up and spit him out like a heel. He'd more be like a big bully if he did that. But the fans would chant, "We hurt people." It's clear who they believe in, wanted to see. And Shelton mostly manhandled him and his shit looked good. But there was too much on the floor too early. But at some point, Shelton had to start letting Bailey do his setup, choreographed horse shit, and Bailey has no aura, no timing, no personality. As I said, he looks silly and works silly. And when Shelton gave him a comeback, all he did was the kung fu bullshit. And at one point, Shelton gotch lifted the little turd. And they went over the top rope to the floor. That was a heck of a bump. But then they started doing the Bailey's fake bullshit on the floor, and they lost momentum with him trying to set up the swingy dingy thing. And then Shelton barely beat the count because they had to go out of their way to try to make this guy look competitive. There's no goddamn way on God's green earth that Shelton Benjamin and MVP would have sat down and said, we have to do this much to make this guy competitive unless they were instructed to. Because it's just insulting to the fucking program. And at least MVP was calling him on. Did you hear him on commentary when Bailey would try to get an armbar and he doesn't know how or couldn't work it? And MVP would say, well, he doesn't have the fulcrum right.
Yeah. Let me just say, I don't know if he should have said everything he said, but I enjoyed the fuck out of it. MVP
Yes.
tore this apart on commentary every time Speedball was on offense.
Because you had to. Or it makes him look bad to normal people that might be watching the program. And finally, they did. I don't know. I watched this back a number of times. But as I said, Bailey had done more stuff to Shelton and had gone back and forth. And finally, Shelton's charging toward the corner. Bailey, it looked to me like Shelton was going to jump and fly into the corner and hit the buckle. But Bailey kind of moved, but wasn't all the way out of the way. I don't know. From the camera angle, couldn't tell. So Shelton kind of held up and then went into the buckle and kind of turned around like, well, what the fuck? And Bailey, was he supposed to small package? If it was a schoolboy, he pulled him into a schoolboy. Whatever, Shelton kicked out. They came up and Shelton leveled him with a super kick. He turned a complete flip bump for it, Bailey did. And it got a huge pop because it looked great. And Shelton covers him. And the referee counts 1 and 2. And Bailey doesn't kick out. He spoke a couple of words. You could see his lips moving. But the only movement he made was to just put his hand on Benjamin's back. There was no kick out. And the referee held up and didn't count 3. And the fans started booing and loudly. They were pissed. They were like, what the fuck? And MVP jumped up and he jumped into the ring and yelled at the ref. I think he jumped into the ring to say, tell him to do it again. Because he actually got in the ring to yell at the referee and it got right back out where he was on color. And they got up and Shelton gave Bailey a German suplex and a knee in a corner and then a super kick. 1, 2, 3. So obviously the super kick was the finish. But why the referee didn't count, I have no idea why Bailey would have spoken words. Was he just saying, thank you for not killing me?
Why don't we use this as the finish?
It doesn't make any sense that nobody moved and the referee held up and a finish was a super kick.
We just saw this on SmackDown. What was it? Who was with Nia Jax and the referee stopped counting? I can't remember now.
Good Lord.
Was it Jade or was it Tiffany? I don't remember.
I don't want to say either.
But we just saw this happen on SmackDown. Where the referee, there was a clear pin, the referee just stopped, and then they just get right up and go right to a finish.
But that was the thing. You could obviously tell that what they went into from the aborted count, German suplex, knee in the corner, and super kick again was just ad lib, because with what they had done before, if he'd have kicked out, they would have been anywhere near it. I don't know what the fuck. But this, again, it comes down to, instead of preparing the referees properly and having an environment, maybe they think they'll be yelled at. Instead of guys going over the finish and this will be exactly it, they ought to instruct the referees, if the shoulders are down, count it. Work with us to some extent. Here's what the finish is supposed to be. But superseding that, the booker, the head of talent, whatever, should supersede that with, don't bury yourself and fucking shit on the business on live television. If some bitch doesn't kick out, you got to do what you got to do. You're the referee. Now, again, there's always multiple circumstances. If you know the guy is knocked out and you know it's the finish and he's supposed to kick out, but he's laying there looking like he's on Neptune, then you need to communicate before you start to count with the guy that's covering him. He's fucked up or something. I mean, there's all kinds of shit going on. But if both guys are still conscious and everything's down, just fucking, and nobody's trying to move, count it.
At least Shelton got to beat him twice.
That is a good way of looking at the silver lining, isn't it?
MVP was killing him on commentary. It was so entertaining because it was all factual. It wasn't like he was being a heel and just lying or anything. Everything he said was just like point by point breaking down how everything he did looked weak. It was really remarkable.
Yeah, horrible technique. He said if for the right price, I may be able to work with young Bailey a little bit on his grappling. He said, I'll take an All-American wrestler over a black belt in Taekwondo every day, and everybody should, because that would be a thing you would do. But I mean, it's got to be a rib to these guys that know what could be going on versus what they're having to look at.
Again, it's one thing. It's one thing to see a Mike Bailey against the Young Bucks or Orange Cassidy or Darby, Jack Perry, someone who's not built like a traditional wrestler, not built like a traditional wrestler at any other time in history. When you see him with Shelton, it's ridiculous. I mean, there's no way you could even in your head, even if you think Mike Bailey's the baddest motherfucker on the planet, you can't think it's reasonable that he should beat Shelton or even have that much of a competitive match, but that's just the way it is.
Now somebody's going to go find an old videotape of Shelton Benjamin having a barn burner of a fucking competitive knockdown drag-out match with Rey Mysterio and say, well, look, see? Yeah.
Not the same thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Put Rey Mysterio of that time period or even today next to this fucking tippy-toeing son of a bitch. He took Twinkle Toes' gimmick, too. Anyway, I don't know what this finish was supposed to be, Brian, but I guarantee you one thing. I will promise you one thing. They are not going to want a picture of this finish on their dresser or table or credenza or garbanzo or whatever kind of furniture they got in their room to remember forever, because this is a kind of finish that you want to forget. Wouldn't you say that's the case?
I agree with your statement, yes.
But if you have a memory or a person or a place or a thing or an animal, a vegetable, a mineral that you want to remember, Brian, well, then you want to remember it forever and you want to put it in a place of prominence there on the Schiffer robe or over on the nightstand or over there, as I mentioned before, on the Davenport. All of these types of things can happen thanks to our friends at Aura Frames. And that's A-U-R-A, in case nobody can understand my Midwestern accent. The Aura Frames at auraframes.com. Right now, I've taken over my whole family. They're actually making duplicates of my various family members that are programmed into these things, and then they just appear overnight. Meanwhile, the carcasses are being trucked out to Fresno to be put in a landfill. Maybe I shouldn't have revealed that part first.
Yeah, I would not reveal that.
Folks, it's just like you've got your family member or friend or loved one or various person in your life live there in the room, because these pictures on the Aura Frames, they have meticulously calibrated high-resolution displays. So you would never know that it's not the real thing right there. And you can send the photos and share the photos from your phones or your devices or your various implements or whatever stores your smart information. Maybe your smart stove can tell your smart refrigerator to send a picture of your spoiled squash over to goddamn Granny. And she'll think, boy, Helen needs to lose weight. But you can do that stuff.
Send Granny pictures of the kids, of the good times, of the family get-togethers, the birthdays,
of
and
the
holidays.
Little squashes. Yeah, the little squashes and Sasquatches that you have around the house. It takes about 2 minutes to set up a frame using the Aura app. And then you've got complete control over who has access to your frame. But hey, if you want to get even with somebody, give Give your mother-in-law the frame and then give some drunken homeless bum on the street her code and say, send a bunch of pictures to this. You know what to do. You'll have endless hours of hilarity. And you can react with cute emojis to show that you love a photo. You can send congratulations. Or actually, you could send some word of not only encouragement, but also castigation. Hey, we hated that fucking birthday present. Don't disappoint us again this Christmas. You can do that. You can frame instantly from anywhere. They'll appear instantly on the frame wherever it is in the world when you send it from your device. So you can send somebody the finger in real time when they're in Pakistan. And the Aura detects faces and other key details in the photos and stores that information for facial recognition later on in case of horrible fire or chemical disaster.
In case you want to easily group your family members together by who they are, not because of some disfigurement. Well,
many of your family members can be disfigured, but with the bright Aura display in true color that automatically adjusts for the light level of the room, well, they'll still look about the same as they usually do, but it won't be any more offensive. And at night, when you turn out the lights, your frame turns off to save energy. I mean, this thing, it's just a wonder. And sometimes when you're sitting there, suddenly a picture of one of your relatives will just start speaking to you from beyond the grave. And you will really have a conversation back and forth with this thing.
That's again, you went too far. You had us for a second.
It worked for me the other night. I don't know. I'd had a couple Bloody Marys, but goddamn Uncle Tommy went on and on about Richard Petty and all his favorite race car drivers. And you can also put videos up to 30 seconds long. But of course, Uncle Tommy died before that was possible. So I don't know how Uncle Tommy was talking to me, but these videos, they can still be people that are living or dead if you pre-taped it. And there's an embedded speaker that can play audio on demand, so you'll hear the voices of maybe that's not a selling point. It's loved by the press. Named the #1 digital picture frame by Wirecutter, The Strategist, Wired, and PC Mag. So see, Politically Correct Magazine says, get this thing. And recommended by Good Morning America, The Today Show, Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, and several voyeurs that have managed to hack the code and use it as an interior camera to spy on you when you're washing your crotch. Folks, now.
No.
You heard what I said.
I don't know exactly what you said. It took off there mid-sentence.
For a limited time. Visit auraframes.com. Get $45 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by everybody, using the promo code JCE at checkout. That's Aura, AURA frames.com. Promo code JCE. It's for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. That's the best deal of the year. So order now before it's over with and mention us at checkout, where you'll find out the terms and conditions that apply. Just don't read the fine print and everything will be all right. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Titty Tuesday, Washout Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Fuck Off Friday, and Shithead Saturday. You're not going to get a better deal than this.
We love them here in our house. Suzanne's a big fan. We bought a few now as gifts for other family members for the holidays. We're sure you'll love it too. Aura Frames. Jim, that promo code one more time.
JCE. This is much better than that other similar product I had one time that it always said, set it up right in front of where you use the toilet. Don't know why that they wanted me to do that.